Fantastic. I should probably get some music going because it's noisy. I got kids. Let's see. We're gonna put some mood music on. Chill? Nah, good vibes. Let's do good vibes. Here we go. Did I do that right? Let's double check. Again, the audio stuff is the hard stuff. I'm gonna go to my settings. Audio, stream, chat. Is that where my audio is going? Nope, it's going to game. If it's going to game, is it still coming out? Let me double check here. You'd think I've had this figured out by now. Let's do it here. There's going to be a day where I have this all figured out, and when I come on, it's just going to be like, yeah, of course it's working. No doubt. Let's see. Check. I can't hear anything. Why? I have my audio. Oh, here we go. Check. Yeah, I can hear the music. That's good. Fantastic. All right. I can close that up. I just ran through a demo, an example of what I'm gonna rerun this here in just a minute. I'm just running. I'm trying to get this Cloud Foundry demo up and running. There's just a little things, so I'm just trying to like knock things off the list right now. I want to show this. I had some interesting conversations today where it's like the question was like, how is this saving money? How is using less RAM save us money? How does using less RAM save us money? We're a company that has thousands of deployments, thousands of apps running all over. How is reducing the amount of RAM going to save us money? Oh, I clearly need to finish this. I need to redo the way I explain it because sometimes I only have 5 minutes to explain it. This is taking a long time and it might not sink in. So when there's stuff going on in the demo, I should use that time to fill in the gaps because I didn't do what I was hoping to do today. So I'd like to fix that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to swizzle things so I can see. I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job of communicating, and I want to get all my chat the best I can. I want to keep up with my chat, so I try to get things visible. Not always easy, but I try. So this is looking good so far, but we're gonna do it again, and I'm hoping I can just do it, and then I'll slice it up, and then I'll push it up. Oh, great question. Hey, new here. Have you ever worked with Java EE Jakarta EE App Server? Yes. Let me show you. I think what you mean is if I go to kubectx, I've got these Kubernetes clusters. I've got this Kubernetes cluster here that is running middleware, JEE middleware. So let me make this a little bit smaller. so we can hopefully see. And yeah, to answer that question, like not only do I do it, I'm doing it like now. Like you can see that I just stood this up 5 days ago, so it's active on my mind. This is WebLogic. I have a WebLogic server, WebLogic admin server, and a WebLogic domain deployed to my Nooks cluster. So this is one of my run clusters. So yes, this is EJBs, web services, WSDLs, JMS, all of the stuff being deployed. So with that said, do you have a question? This is my jam. Like, tell me, yeah. All right. I'm starting a new job as a middleware engineer, but I know jack about it. Okay. Where do we start? So I did a lot of these streams last week, where I was kind of going through WebLogic and how it works. I have friends over at Oracle. And is WebLogic the middleware that you're going to, or is it some other version? There's others out there. Do you know what you're going to be using? Because we can dig in. If you know what you're going to be using, maybe I can answer some questions for you. WebLogic, WebSphere, and JBoss, all of the above. You are in for a treat. You are going to be a WebLogic, WebSphere, and JBoss middleware engineer. Okay. Where to start? Let's talk about what that means. Let's jump in. So again, I have stuff planned, but I care more. Why I'm here is more about, hey, you've got stuff. So this sounds like a great topic. Let's jump in. So when I think about things, and this is like, I've done stuff for a while. I'm Deshaun. I've been around. I'm gonna give you a little bit of like background information, so hopefully to lay some groundwork for how much you want to invest in my opinion. So I'm gonna go over here to Deshaun.com. This is where you can find me. I'm gonna give you a little intro about who I am. Today is day 694 as a Spring Developer Advocate. Spring is a Java framework, which can land on WebLogic, WebSphere, and JBoss. Before that, I was a Partner Solution Architect at Redis. Before that, I was a Senior Platform Architect at Pivotal VMware. But I was 985 days as a VP of Engineering at Mobile Capital Group, MedZero. And before that, almost 6 years at Garmin. So I've been around for a while. You can find me on these places. But I'm going to go back because we're talking middleware. I'm going to go over here. All my LinkedIn stuff, my LinkedIn, right? Boop, boop, boop. My LinkedIn, it's one of these, isn't it? How do I not have my LinkedIn? That's silly. But I'm going to show you my LinkedIn because I want to show you that I've done the middleware stuff. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Inception, like way back here, way back long ago. Last week, Argon, one of the other folks that drops in, he came in and he's like, "What's WebLogic? What's middleware?" And he looked it up. WebLogic was introduced in 1997. I was not using WebLogic here. I started using it here. Is where I was using WebLogic. Did I put it in there anywhere? No, I didn't put it in there, but this is where I started using it. I was doing a lot of WebLogic. I did it here as well, here as well. So yeah, like WebLogic was pretty popular. I've been around for a while. So yeah. Yes, I know some things. Super glad to have come across the channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. You're joining from Twitch. Yeah, I'm trying to hit that 200 mark on Twitch. I haven't hit that 200 mark yet. So that's what I'm shooting for. And yeah, I have, which is weird. I've been streaming on Twitch. I normally just do like live stuff. I haven't streamed a bunch. I started off on Mixer, but I've been streaming on Twitch for like 4 years and my YouTube numbers are way higher. But right now I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn and Kick. So I'm just like streaming all the places. I'm not trying to like drive number. I just want to be like available. I want to be able to answer questions. That's the main thing. So I talked about some stuff. This is just my notes from earlier today. Yeah, let's get in. Let's talk about all of the above. Let's just draw some pictures. All three of those, WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, middleware. We learned WebLogic was like 1997, according to somebody that was visiting before. This is WebSphere is from IBM. I feel like that's about that long as well. JBoss was I think it was just its own thing, and then it was bought by Red Hat. But these are all like EJB. You talk JEE, middleware. I think EJB. EJB or Enterprise Java Bean. And then, so I understand some basics that middleware is supposed to be the plumbing between applications that don't have a standard API to communicate over. Like, for example, an HR application connected to an ERP. One uses SOAP, the other uses REST. You can definitely do that. What they do and what they are sold as, for me is weird, slightly different. But yeah, you can do some interesting things. Where do you want to do your plumbing? So let's start with just like Java, Java app. Let's make it a little thin. Tomcat, Orion server. What other ones? There was a bunch of other, these are like open source ones that I deployed, but I definitely did JBoss. Right now there's Netty. There's a bunch of ways that you can deploy Java. Java runs on top of a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So I can take this bytecode, so it's like compiled into bytecode, but then that bytecode is machine agnostic. That bytecode takes this Java Virtual Machine and it can modify it for whatever operating system I want to run it on. So one of the early things was like, hey, you can write your Java bytecode and then you can run it anywhere, right? Write once, run anywhere. That was like the pitch for this Java bytecode, because anywhere that you had a virtual machine, you could convert it. So now we've got Java virtual machines for everything, including your toasters. And then these EJBs came along, and the idea of I want more than a virtual machine. I want to package things different. Where we were doing jar files, Java archive, jar. You could just run the jar file, run it on the command line. Cool, java-jar. Right? Yep. The app servers are supposed to provide the JEE APIs, so devs don't have to worry about 100 different dependency versions, right? Yeah, there's a lot here where you can say hey, I want my thing. So in my timeline, when I started in 1995-ish, Java started in 95. I started doing Java around 97, 98. I think that's right. And yeah, and then we started getting this slightly different. We said, hey, I want this web archive, or and that had required middleware. So you, instead of delivering just Java code, you delivered some additional configuration. Like you could have a data source attached. So just like you were talking about, like, hey, my application needs to connect to an ERP system or an Oracle database. And you could separate some of those concerns. You could say, hey, when you're deployed in my middleware, I'm going to give you the data source you're going to connect to. It made things a little tricky. Like, hey, how do I know which one I'm connected to? You had to like manage your dependencies, etc. I should probably put like a little line here. This is like a so. Hey, now we had this war file, and then later on, yeah, EJBs was introduced. JEE, I think it was introduced with Java 1.2, right? JEE. So it was called J2EE, Java 1.2. And this is where we introduced Enterprise Archive year. And this had a different specification where it could also, inside of the EAR file, you could specify EJBs, web services, yeah, or JNDI resources, all inside. And it can contain WAR files, wars, jars, and you can have all sorts of stuff combined into this enterprise archive. So you could have different applications talking to different applications, all combined into one EAR file, and they got pretty big. The message pop-ups aren't going away. Oh, I leave those up. So yeah, I can switch those. Thank you for telling me that, because I'm not great at streaming yet. I'm still working on it. But yeah, I can hide those. So they go until I click them off. Oh, and then I was probably covering what I was doing. So yeah. So this is where we got, and we had this like really interesting stuff. But this is where these guys came in. Right? Was with after Java 1.2, we needed a way to deploy, and then they came up with these specifications, and then a bunch of people, WebLogic, WebSphere, etc., were like, yeah, we know how to deploy it and meet our standard so that we can take your enterprise work to production. So simply, like, it's take an EAR file and run it somewhere, and then there's a bunch of contracts in there. Like you kind of point out, there's a bunch of contracts that need to be met in order to have it run properly. Those are my contracts, if that makes sense. With the middleware. So far, does that make sense? Like, let's do this. Let's show an example. I'm gonna go to start spring.io, and I'm gonna build a jar file. Like this is like the simplest application here is a jar file. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do Maven, Java. I'm gonna use Spring Boot 3.1.5, and I'm gonna say, hey, I want to do a jar. I'm gonna use Java 21 because that's the latest. And I'm gonna just say web, and I'm gonna add actuator. And that's it. So I'm gonna generate this. Oh, this is great. Like, it's weird. I've been a Java dev for 15 years now, and I know nothing about all this. I know nothing about Java on web API platforms. Like, I get it. You're not the first person to say that, because here's what happened in some places. Let me finish doing this. I'm gonna build this demo. Yep, go ahead and replace it. You're not the first person that said that, because like I said, I was streaming about WebLogic last week. I've got a WebLogic operator running, and it is. it's like we lived in different lands. So there was just a point in time, and I think I know what happened. So let me be like fully transparent. I work for a company called VMware, and VMware has Spring, and I'm using Spring, and Spring did a lot of stuff to make this stuff easier. Like, literally, the book that was the birth of Spring was written so that this stuff wouldn't be so hard. So understand, like, my bias. I showed my resume, my background, like, understand my bias. But I understand, because part of my job, the reason why I have this here is because this stuff is hard. And there is a big gap. There's a lot of people that don't know how to do it. So I'm trying to share. I want to be where you're at and help you understand what's going on. So here's what we're going to do. So I made this jar file, and we're going to take that jar file, and it was in my downloads. So I'm going to remove this demo directory, and then I'm going to unzip that demo .zip. Unzip it. We're going to go in here. So here's what we have now. I have a jar file. I could always just do Java. Wait, it's got Maven around it, so I'm going to build it. I'm going to build the application. And this is what I'm going to do. MVNW clean package. So go build it. Back in the day, before times, in the long ago, I'm gonna go back to my profile, and I want to just like show you where I'm coming from. I point out to when I was using VEA WebLogic, which is now Oracle's WebLogic. Like, you're gonna see things like Ant, right? Ant. Maybe it's got to be there somewhere. Consultant, Ant, like here. This was the tool that, for me, was a predecessor to Maven. But you had to have, like, and before this was Make, and we were doing all these interesting things. We wanted a simpler way to join all these things together. Right, like, it's on my resume, so I understand where you're coming from. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for talking. It's so much easier to do this when I have somebody to talk to. So again, thanks, both of you. Jebs and Pink Emma, thank you so much for being here. So yeah, Ant, like, I get it. So Maven is just like a next-gen Ant. Ant has flexibility. There's still lots of stuff that's going to production with Ant. I will try to be nice. Thanks for warning me, though. So I built this jar file, and now I can do java-jar. It's in my target directory, and I can do demo 001-jar. Icon, like, this is what I'm doing. Basically, here's the plan. Icon. When it's not like private confidential stuff, and since I'm open source, I can stream all the time. So if I'm sitting down here, why not stream? If it's something I can share, if something I can be doing, why not stream? The rest of my family is gone. They're out running errands, eating, and going to cheerleading. So here I am. So that's where it's at. Oh, this makes me feel so good that you've lurked and you've been around and that you've come back. That makes me feel good. So you've definitely seen Icon around. So yes, wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this is a jar file. I didn't need to deploy it to anything, but there's a little trick here. What Spring Boot did was Spring Boot took Tomcat, the Tomcat middleware, and it just like plugged it into the jar file. So Tomcat became a part of the jar file so that I can deploy. I don't need a separate middleware. I don't need a separate Tomcat or Orion server or JBoss. So that's what Spring Boot did. But it's still a jar file. So it's doing all of its things. It's running, so I can show you that it's running. Over here, I'll look around my mic. Localhost 8080. This is the app that we just ran. Actuator health. It's up. So that result came from this. Okay, so that's a jar file. That's a simple, like I don't have to do anything. I have an app that's running in a jar file. Now let's do another one. If, and I don't think I actually have a Tomcat that can run it, but if I go back here and I say, hey, I want to build a war file. Demo as war. Or let's do war demo. All right, so I can do the same thing, except it won't add Tomcat. It'll say, hey, I'm configured to use Tomcat, but it won't add it. It won't make it so it's runnable. So let's look. Here's what it does. But let's just download it. Let's download that war demo. Save. And let's go take a look at that. This is a demo. This is something that I haven't done. So let's take a look. We're going to unzip war demo. So here's a question. Pink Emma. I think I like that name. I do too. Hi, Icon. Spring Boot is primarily for DI containers, kind of like something core, correct? So Spring, one of the main things about Spring is that dependency injection. That's one of like the core pieces. So yeah. Maybe you were saying like .NET Core. It got commented out there. Yeah. So very similar. Like Spring Framework and .NET Core there's a lot of similarities. So if you know one, you'll definitely understand the other. But .NET Core, again, doesn't need middleware. Right? You don't need to deploy .NET Core to any other thing. You can just run it. So, whoops, yes. Pink Enema says the most common misreading of my name has been Pink Enema, which I don't think I appreciate. Also, Pincushion? What? Don't know, what? Pink MMA. I saw Pink MMA like at first, but yeah, Pink Emma makes sense. I get it. Right on. Awesome. See, it's just yeah, this is what we do. I try to make a safe, fun place for us all to learn. So the war file, right? So to go back to my picture here, like I had this opportunity to do a war file and deploy it to some Tomcat. So when I go over here, if I do /mvnw clean package, what I'll get now is I will get a war file instead of a jar file. And that war file will need to be deployed somewhere. But sometimes that's not all that you need. I want to make this bigger so you guys can see what's going on. So here's my war file, but sometimes in the war file, you've got to configure like which data source do you want to talk to and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really have a way of running this, but I can do this. I can do jar-cdf because it's called a war file, but it's just a zip file. Like it's the same format as a zip file, but we give it that name to clarify. So inside of the war file, we have our manifest. We have all of our classes that we're going to use, and this is what Spring has done for us. It gets the jar files get unzipped into the class path, and yeah, and then we have WebInf classes, and then there's like a WebInf lib. All of your dependencies go into WebInf lib. So this is just the convention. So all the dependencies that I needed, like my MySQL jar, like or the Oracle driver, those would go into WebInf lib. Right? Here's all the others. Spring Boot Actuator, because I added Actuator, Micrometer, the things you get out of the box of Spring. There's a bunch of libraries here. Now, when we get to WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss. We can combine a bunch of these. Like if we've got a big A app, and I'll say the difference between a big A. What we had there, we kind of called our big A application, and this is, I don't have any other better way of saying it. Like when you throw all of your little A apps into an enterprise archive, big A application ear file, I use this term as nice as possible, as monolith. Because what happened for years is these just kept getting bigger. Right, that HR system, that ERP, these just kept on getting bigger. We just started throwing more stuff in. And then our middleware, we just had to make them bigger and bigger. So like when we started off, we were deploying on 2. Yeah, we had an A and a B. And they had like 24 gigs. Right? This is back in the 2000s, so we weren't doing a whole lot of crazy stuff. But then we kept on throwing more and more stuff into these EJBs, and then we needed more of these, or we needed to scale up because of all the stuff that we were adding in. And here's what happened with me. It's like, oh, well, if we're gonna get another one, let's not make it 24 gigs. Let's make this one 96 gigs. And we had to not only like scale out in order to handle the load, because again, this is like years on years on years on years. This stuff came out with Java 1.2. When did Java 1.2 come out? I think it was in like 1998. When was Java 1.2 released? I think it was 1997 or 98. Java 1.2, 98, end of 98. So we started doing this stuff, jars and wars and resources and web services wrapped up into EJBs. We started doing that in 1998. And now there are still companies that are doing this, right? You're still doing this. Yeah, right. 96 gig was a boatload. And the thing is, you didn't have a JVM. You only had really one. All right, so shout out to Azul. When I first heard this, right, I think Azul was like 256. Like the first time that I heard about them, I think it was 256 is what they could handle. But yeah, mind blow, right? Like when I'm hearing about this, I was like, this is crazy. So anyways, things go, and Azul is still around and they're still doing awesome stuff. It's like when we're talking about like, hey, I'm throwing a bunch of these things into my middleware, there wasn't a whole lot of folks that could really help out because you either did this or you got 8 more of these. Right? Or 4 more. Right? So you only had options. So that's what we were doing. But now, this is way back in the 90s. This started in the 90s. This started in the 90s. And as we move forward, 98, 2000, in 2003, right around here, this is where Spring came in, right around the Java 4, right? Because we're celebrating 20 years of Spring right now. So Spring came in, but again, I don't want to be a commercial. There are companies that are still, like the dot-com boom happened before that, right? The dot-com boom, 1999, 2000, like that was all happening. Java was a big part of that. So there's these companies being made on top of Java, on top of enterprise Java, and it was a boom. It was a massive growth in enterprise and online and .com and all this stuff. So Java was there, and there's Java's been around for a long time. But here we are today. Yeah, not very full. We've learned a lot of lessons, right? Here, our approach was, a lot of times, this was kind of what we defaulted to. That's what we had to do, right? We had to scale up, and we had to like just get bigger machines because we couldn't separate these things out. These ended up being big A applications with a lot of little A applications built in, right? So that file, that ear file had a bunch of stuff in it. Right? And they weren't all the same size, but they were all in there. So the problem was, like, you had one thing that was like critical to your app, and it was the bottleneck. So this is the key for you. Like, if you're a middleware engineer, this is your job. You're gonna find that one thing inside of your ear file that you're deploying to your middleware. There's gonna be one thing here that is like the crucial thing, that's the bottleneck, and this is the one that's causing all the problems. Because when it comes time to scale, you're gonna like, hey, yeah, we're having problems here. You're gonna have to either scale up or scale out, right? Let's go back to this. Okay, this is the scale out. So this drawing is not great, but this is what happened. So we had these big A applications, these big ear files, and we start running into problems. Well, we didn't have time to go back and like fix the problem, and even to this day, they just say like, hey, I just want to not spend so much money to run this thing that's working and it's making us a load of money. Like, help me manage it better. Help me manage all of this stuff. This big A app that has a bunch of little A apps in it, and there's one just really like pain in the neck one, and you're going to say like, oh, let's give it another box. Let's spread things out. And the way that you did that, typically, it was like you kind of the one that's in my head. And again, I'm not like shaming, but F5, which is now just like, I think it was just like a bloated engine. It's not bloated. It's, sorry. The F5 is what you kind of do to route your traffic. And then because it's a big A app and it's monolithic, you kind of create some other problems where like you routed your traffic here, but its session is here. So you have to do things like sticky session. Like, so like as you scale, you can't just send traffic to any one of these nodes. You're going to get traffic that's stuck on one node, and you're going to have consumers that are stuck on one node, and they're going to cause problems for everybody on that node. And you'd like to be able to send them over here, but you can't. But anyways, this is high level. This is what I think of. And these are the kind of problems that you're going to face. And the other problem that you're going to face is this part, like we're reaching out to Oracle, your database, like when you're reaching out, because here's what happens. All of these, whether you have one or more, right, I'm going to move this over here. Hello. All of these are then going to be connecting to your database. Let's draw it this way. Let's just call it Oracle or DB2. So as you scale out, as you add more of these, you're actually adding more connections. Let's say this one has 1,000 connections. This one has 1,000. This one, because it's got 96, this one has 4,000. Right? So then you're going to be fine tuning like, hey, like, am I doing the right thing? Because you're not going to want to stop and start those connections. You're going to do connection pools. These are going to exist. And those connection pools are going to be maintaining connections to this database. And that's going to be one of those things that becomes a bottleneck. So this is like high level. These are just like pain and scar tissue that I've got. So hopefully like that doesn't scare you away, because there's a lot of really interesting things that you can do here. So one example, WebLogic, right, that we talked about and that I showed you I was playing with. So we have WAR file. I can throw the WAR files and the jar files into ear files, and I can do all these other things. But one of those cool things that you can do now is, oh, I think there's somebody at my front door. Hold on. Let me check that out real quick. Please hold. Hello? Please hold. I gotta run and answer the door. I'll be right back. Thank you. Uh, you know, the stuff. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for helping me out. Where I am spending a lot of time. So I kind of just like gave the background here. The reason I have WebLogic Operator installed on my Kubernetes cluster is because of the company that I work in, like VMware. Like, I don't want to tiptoe around. I want to be transparent. Like, I work for a company called VMware, and VMware does a lot of stuff. And one thing VMware is really good at is VMware takes care of the Spring community, which, yeah, is millions of developers. But why I'm here, like what I do is like try to help. Yeah, exactly. VMware. I mean, hopefully, like the clock's ticking. It would be nice. Yeah, we'll see. But one of those things, if you're running like this stuff, if you're doing this pane down here, like, oh, how do I scale? How do I do things? One of the things that we are doing a lot of is taking that WebLogic, like the on-prem data center. A lot of our customers are like, hey, we want to make this easier. We're having pain. We don't know how to scale. So one of the efforts that I'm doing is I'm moving WebLogic over to Oracle Cloud. VMware's got a partnership with Oracle, and Oracle's cloud is pretty amazing. So we basically help customers with their WebLogic app. I have helped customers understand their WebLogic app and then take it from, you know, the hardware, the big server, the big middleware, traditional way of doing it, take that same thing and deploy it to Kubernetes. So that's where I sit. That's what I do. Actually, I'm gonna put this right here. So Kubernetes is a way, it's just an abstraction. It's a way for me to deploy things. It's got an API for both the infrastructure and the app. And this is the thing that I'm doing, helping customers like get a little bit more flexibility, avoid some of these things. Right? Like as you scale, there's only so much you can do because you're kind of like bound by this one thing. Well, when you go up here, you know, when you go into Oracle Cloud, you get a little bit more flexibility. So that's why we're here. That's why this was like a great conversation. Yeah. So look at this. I had no idea that VMware were behind Spring. A lot of people don't. Like VMware, and I don't like to sound like commercial, but I also don't want to like, you know, step around it. Like VMware. So the co-founder of Spring works for VMware, gets paid by VMware. All of the maintainers for all of the VMware stuff, like the Spring ecosystem is massive, but like all the people that push out all of this stuff, all of these Spring projects, all the people that are maintainers, that are the core contributors, they all work for VMware. And that's pretty crazy. VMware bought a company called Pivotal, which I also worked at, and Pivotal owned Spring. So yeah, like I had no idea. A lot of people had no idea. My current company is actually partnered with Symantec by Broadcom. Yeah, I get it, right? Broadcom. So one of the other things that I do, a lot of Kubernetes, but one of the other things that I do is I do a lot of stuff with Raspberry Pis. A lot of the stuff is Raspberry Pi, Knative on Docker Desktop. Let's go back here. Cloud Native, K3s, Knative, Ubuntu, Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi, like there's 21 Raspberry Pis that are running in that closet right now. And I do a lot with Raspberry Pi. Broadcom makes the chips that are in Raspberry Pi. So for me, and where I'm sitting at, like, hey, this could be really amazing. This would be great chemistry. We could do a lot of cool things. So your point here is like splitting the microservices. So sometimes you don't have the time to split all these into microservices. right? Time is money, etc. You know, if your demand for application running on Oracle is growing faster than you've got developers that can pull these things out in microservices, this is kind of like a phase one. Like just move your applications into the cloud so you have some more flexibility in order to do the things like this, like split them out into microservices. Absolutely. But this is kind of like the baby step. You can literally take your WebLogic app that's running on middleware in your data center, and you can say, hey, I would like to run that over here on Kubernetes. And they have a WebLogic operator. And I know all this stuff because, like I said, I was just doing this. WebLogic in Kubernetes. Here. They have a Kubernetes operator. So it's a thing. I can even show it. Let's just do that. We go here. If I want to go down, I'm going to copy the line that says the port forward. I just want to show. I have. Where did it go? I know I ran it. I just don't remember where I copied it from. I'm looking for the port forward to the proxy. I don't remember off the top of my head. I could spend a little bit of time looking for it. But I have these things running. And I don't remember where I was going with it. This is what I do. This is what I do. We can get them up and going. And then we basically, with that operator, we have WebLogic, but it's not running on our hardware. It's running on a Kubernetes cluster that's spread across multiple nodes. So VMware does a lot of stuff. Tanzu, right? Tanzu, that's the org unit that I work in. That's where Spring lives, is in the Tanzu business unit. TKG, again, why I'm involved here, why WebLogic resonates with me, because TKG, the Tanzu Kubernetes grid, and all of those flavors of Tanzu Kubernetes, they are all like certified to run the Oracle WebLogic operator. So that's why we are a good partner with Oracle, and that's why we do these things. So not today, it's not going to be your early on project, but as you're like going into this, you now have a background. You're going to know, you're going to be flooded with like, oh, you got to learn all this stuff. But now you've got a picture of like what to be looking for, like looking for the pain points. And you also, now you have like an idea of like, hey, if I ever find myself in that position, cloud's not cheap. On-prem is cheap, but cloud gives you the agility and flexibility. And sometimes you just need to scale in order to meet demand. And then you can always come back, right? Scale, meet demand, or refactor and then come back. So you got options. KubeCuddle, expose, deploy. I'm gonna let's just take a look. Can you share this illustration? Yeah, you want to know? I can do one better. Watch this. This is Excalidraw, and I got a bunch of other notes down here. Just this is where I like to draw and do things, and I save them. So I go like this. I say save to, and me. So I can save that file. I can give you that file. So I'm going to save it here. If I'm going to do two things. I'm going to send you an invite to my Discord, which is it's not a public thing. I'm going to give you an invite in your Twitch. I do it via Whisper. I hit this button, and now you have an invite to my Discord channel, and I'll give you that file. But I can also do this. I can say, boink, start a session. This is my session. I can copy this link, and I think I can put this out for everybody. If you want to, I'll have to, monitor and moderate. But you can grab that, and you can actually start editing in here with me if you want. You can ask questions that way. So, yeah, you have it. Now you said, I'm going to a highly regulated sector, which is not cloud enabled, but it's still possible to host K8s on-prem. Yes, it is. And give yourself a little bit more flexibility on the infrastructure. So yeah, you've got options. And sometimes, just like you didn't know about VMware and the relationship, sometimes it's just about like knowing the right place to go get your questions answered. So now I can see like, hey, there's two people here. Like, yeah, like feel free. I don't know where your mouse is, so I have to like keep an eye on it. But I saved a copy of it. So yeah, we can now collaborate. And this is fun, especially for situations like this. So hopefully this kind of, there you go. Hopefully this kind of gave you an idea of what's going on. Yep, now you can see your mouse on the screen. And then, yeah, and now you can kind of see like, hey, this is what it could look like going forward. So yeah, this is what we're doing. So what else? Like, you haven't started there yet. What else is interesting? What else might be interesting for you? Is Pink Emma still around? I will invite Pink Emma as well if I should do that. Pink Emma, copy. Oh, yay, you are here. Do I accept money for help? That's an interesting question. I'd rather not accept money. I'd rather just help. Emma, here's your invite. I try to make it a safe place. What's your question? Like, I don't want. I'm here for a reason. Did I put it down here? No. But I have it. Like, I have my other notes. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to help. I'm not here to look for money. I do appreciate follows. I'm trying to get to 200 follows on Twitch, but I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and Kick and LinkedIn. I just want to be available. So, I mean, I like money. I have kids, but that's not what I'm here for. I just want to help. So Emma, I'm glad you're here. I sent you an invite. It'd be awesome. And I deployed a JBoss server in my lab, configured JDBC driver for Postgres, but I don't know how to get my simple hello app to query the DB. Oh, we can do that. Oh, here we go. So this is, I'm struggling with my pathfinding algorithm. I need a good developer to help me. I'm going to pay because the code is very tricky. You want to know the best place for you to spend your money on this? It's called ChatGPT. This is the best place for you to spend your money, because you're going to learn. And if you don't learn, you're going to ask more questions. And this is the best place for you to spend your money for this. But if that doesn't work, I don't want to just do the work. I want you to learn. So now I'm even more convinced. I would rather you go here to ChatGPT and check it out. But I don't want to push you away. I want to help. So here's what I'd like from you. Before I circle back, here's what I'd like from you. I want you to, do you have a GitHub repo? That's the best way for me to work. I work up in the public, right? So this is the best way for me to like dig in and help. And I've done it many, many times. I should probably add like me and my teammate Spring Office Hours.io. Very much this is what I like to do. So me and Dan Vega, the real Dan Vega on Twitter, we team up and we do office hours. We take your questions and we answer stuff about Spring. But here now, I will take your answers. The way that I do it by default is I want to do it in the open. I don't want your money, but I do want you to get unstuck. So if you've got a problem, like put it into a public GitHub repo and send it to me. And I'd be happy to take a look. And the other thing, this is who I am. Watch this. This is my website. This is me, AKA Java Grunt. This button right here, this is my calendar. Anybody, you, your friend, your mom, your cousin, you can just literally go grab time on my calendar. and we can talk about your Pathfinder. We can talk about anything. It's open. If there's an open slot, you can grab it. I'm here for you. Like, yeah, I like to stream and stuff, and it's fun, and I love it when I can stream and do fun things with people. But I also want to get you unstuck. My job is a Spring Developer Advocate. That means I got to advocate for you. I got to help you get unstuck. I need to know where your problems are so I can go make sure that somebody else doesn't run into the same problems. But this doesn't have to be about work, right? I want to be transparent. This is what I am. This is what I do. Oh, you know what? Watch this. Like there, I'm over on YouTube, but there's a video over here that I like somewhere. It's an old one, but I don't even know where it is. This one. Let's put this link up here. I want you to go watch this video. It's a few years old, but it'll make a lot of sense, and it'll give you an idea of like who I am and where I'm coming from. I need to redo it, but here's where we are. So, Seer Archons, I want you to, if you can, put it into a public GitHub repo. So now, let's circle back here. I deployed a JBoss server in my lab, configured JDBC driver for Postgres, but I don't know how to get my simple hello app to query the database. So, same thing. Can you put it into a GitHub repo? Do you have can you put your simple app into a GitHub repo? Because if so, we can knock this out. We can deploy a WAR file. We can deploy your Hello World. We can work on that right now if you want. I'm happy to dig in and help you out. So what I picture, your situation is like, hey, you've got JBoss. It's running somewhere. And then you've also got Postgres. And then you've got your Java, your WAR file. And in there, this is what I did, just from what I'm reading. This is what I assume. You've got some simple code. And then you also have the Postgres lib driver, right? And you're deploying this here. And then inside of here, you've got some config. Let's do it this way. You've got some config. Maybe. And that config points to Postgres. Host port, or it'd be like this. It's like user colon pass at. Right? You've got some config that you've deployed in some config file into JBoss. So you want your WAR file to be able to run on JBoss and connect to this Postgres that may or may not be on the same system. So fantastic and fantastic. This is great. Like this is, I don't have all the answers. Oh, yay. Thank you, Pink Emma, for joining my Discord. I see it over there. It makes me happy. Pink Emma says, don't be afraid studying more algorithms and writing a new implementation. Sometimes a bad assumption might be the blocker, but incredibly hard to find. This is true. This is true. One of those things, and I don't know what book it was from. Was it, let me think here. It wasn't Pragmatic Programmer. It wasn't Clean Code. Code Complete. I think this is the one. Sorry, I got distracted. Code Complete book. This one? Yep, Steve McConnell. I believe I don't read a lot, but this book meant a lot to me. I got it from my first manager at my first job, and I read the heck out of this book. I read the heck out of this book, like a lot. Anyways, one of those concepts that I feel like I got from that book, or at least from that time, was that I would throw away my code. So like version 1 was always a throwaway. Version 1, the MVP, throw it away and do it again. Teach you all the lessons learned. All right, so how can you share it? Like, do it this way. Here we go. I'm going to give you an invite here to Discord, and I will invite you. Is there any chance that I could get, can I get you to follow? Can I get you to follow so I can click on this button? Wait, I don't even need you to follow. Are you following? Let's see. I'm trying. Boom, there it is. And now I can, easy button. You have your own invite. There it is. Thank you for that. And then you can send it. You can drop in and you can send it. Oh, yes. This is so awesome. Here we go. So now, Jebs, can I get you to put that link in the Discord? Because it does not show up. I have that set. Oh, wait, maybe it's here. Boom. Yeah, send it to me over in Discord. Do I have to send it privately to you, or you? Either way, like if it's a public repo, you might as well just send it, because I'll tell you this: my Discord, it's a small community. It's invite only. There's not like a public link where people can go sign up. It's for this group, and there are a lot of really smart people there. So if you post it there, it might not be me that answers your question. You might get some input from others. So I'd say, yeah, if it's public, share it there. Right on. So yeah, that works. I put a Discord, I put a link, I put an invite. I think I invited you to my Discord. So check your whispers on Twitch, and you should have an invite to my Discord. All right, so let's go look at this. So here's one. While Gebs figures out how to do that, then let's take a look at this one, pathfinding. The algorithm does not work as it should. In fact, when the path gets complicated, it no longer works. And the statement said it. Line 40 will insert initial room ID in place of 246. If room equals 231. All right, let's take a look here. So we're using MySQL. Wait, let me enable whispers. Yeah, do. Let's figure this out. So this might not be the type of stuff that a middleware. Check hello app folder screenshot. Okay. Tab deeper. Okay, got it. There we go. Look at this. Thanks. So let's take a look here and let's see if we can understand. Of course, the path is much more complicated than this. Is just an example, okay? How does not work as it should, in fact, when the path gets complicated, all that works. In statements set at 1:246. Oh, so you're doing. All right, let's take a look here. We're doing like straight raw SQL. So start time. We have an array. Oops, don't need that. ID. Try. So we don't have any methods or anything, so it's going to be a little bit hard to read and hard to understand because it's just you just have one class. So watch this. All right, this is just an example. So can I show you the cool thing to do? Watch. I'm going to copy a raw file, and this is just where I'm at, right? I could spend a bunch of time looking and trying to understand it, or I can come over here and I can say, hey, can you help make this Java code easier to read? I hope you don't mind that I'm doing this. But what I expect is that it will spit out a main method, meaningful variable names. It's giving me all these hints. It's telling me what to do. Yeah, I'm using GPT-4. Like, have you tried this? Isn't this like crazy awesome? But now I have something that's going to work a little bit better for me to help you understand. But the cool thing is, I can just like give this back to you. So again, where I was talking about like, hey, you want help on this? Like, you're probably on the right track and it's probably a simple thing. But let me copy this back. And let me just give this back to you. Oh, I can just go right here, copy code, copy. And I'm gonna give that right back to you over here in the Discord. Cool? And then I'm gonna let you take it to the next step and just like clean it up. You got some steps to do. Because for me to sit down and understand your deep loops and stuff, that might be a little bit time consuming. But I think this is more valuable. So let me do that. Here, oops, not here. Let me find your link. There we go. And here you go. Oh, it didn't do the formatting. Sorry. Let me try that again. There we go. There we go. But I'm gonna actually copy this too, so you can like understand what and why. So I'm just putting all this over into Discord so you have it. There you go. That's the easy button. Hopefully that helps. Can you share that? Yeah, so I put the ChatGPT text. Can I share the link to this? That's something that oh, look at this. Did you share a link to chat? Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Copy link. Boom. See? Look at that. Pink Emma. The thing is, like, I never even considered doing that. This is why I like learning in public. Like, I'm remote. I'm working in my basement. And one of the things that I miss is, like, the person that has the cheat codes next to me. Like, hey, how did you do that? How you just shared that? Like, some of those interactions. And this is why I think that, like, streaming like this, doing this kind of stuff, I think in my head, we're all working together. We're all co-working. We're learning together. And I'm going to show you a little tidbit of something cool. And then later on, you're going to, just like you just did, Pink Emma, thank you. Like, you give me something another. Like, I wouldn't have clicked that button. But yeah, now we're all here. And I love this. So in my head, and we'll see how well it goes. But I've been streaming for like 8 days in a row, -1. But there's no reason for me not to stream, especially if I'm not doing anything that's like mission critical for a customer or private, right? Like, let's just do it out in the open. I'm learning. I work for an open source team, and why not do it in the open? So that's why I'm here. So thanks. That was cool, right? Like, that was like a nice little collaboration. We all did it together. This is my favorite part about streaming, is when, like, hey, here we have a problem, and then we all contribute and we all do it together. Those are my favorite streams. So, like, background, when I first started, I was on Mixer, and I enjoyed the live coding stuff, and I would just, like, help in and help with homework and all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed that. And then Mixer went away, and then I moved over to Twitch. And with Twitch, I looked for the live coding, and it was weird. And thankfully, I had Funky Waddle. I had people that kind of, like, helped me out, and I would do these streams. But the best ones, I wasn't, like, consistent. But I'd have these streams where I'd start at 10 and they'd go until 4 in the morning. But at the end of the stream, we had multiple commits and PRs to open source projects. The work was all done on a Twitch stream. So that's fun. So now, I hope that this works, and I hope you get to the next step. I think they're both pretty great. But yeah, either way, GitHub Copilot is also an option. So yeah, you have options. For me, it's worth it. Totally worth it. I have them both. So totally worth it. Hopefully that helps. Let's get over the hurdle, and let's see if we have anything from Gebs. Here we go. Hello, JBoss. Is it okay if we pull this up on? I don't want, like, it's public. Is it okay if we do this live and do this together? So I'll ask before we dig in, because we could definitely do this offline if that's better. So for me, I have the Copilot as well. So it's in my IDE. It's there. I don't even notice it. It's just there. But I definitely use both. I'm going to use both. I think it's worth it for me to use both. All right, so let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and check this out, and I'm going to use my IDE just like we're just talking about. So I'm going to clone this. And the way that I do my clone is I like to do it this way. So I like to organize things. I think I can close that down, right? Let's do this. I want to see again. That crashed. That's no fun. So that's the original thing that I was trying to do on the stream, but this is way more fun. So let's get this here. I go to fun, because that's what we're doing, is fun. And something, my kick thing broke. My kick stream broke. I don't know why. Something broke with kick. That's too bad. I don't know what happened. So we'll just remove it. And yeah. So I'm just doing some cleanup, sorry. So here we are. The way that I want to do this is make sure this. So this is how I organize my stuff. We're going to go in here, and then we'll do gh repo clone this. That's how I organize things. I have my fun directory is organized into GitHub orgs and then repositories. So I can go into hello JBoss, and then let's open it up. I don't have JBoss running, but we should be able to figure out some things together. Oh, so you are using IntelliJ, because I see your .idea repo, and you've got the Maven wrapper, which is fantastic. Oh, you got a POM file. All right, so here we get com.example, hello JBoss, one snapshot, hello JBoss. We're doing Jakarta platform, Jakarta EE API. Okay, so this is Jakarta 9, and you've got JUnit. So where did this code come from? Is the first question. Did you make it? I'm assuming you're a middleware engineer. You didn't make it. You grabbed it from somewhere. So hello servlet. Can I run JBoss, please? All right, this looks good. So nothing's jumping out at me right now. Here's our beans. We've defined our beans, but these are annotated, so it's going to find our entity. Now, is that all that I need? So, IntelliJ idea Jakarta EE template. Okay, so I'm gonna be very transparent. I don't know EJBs. It's been a very long time since I've developed EJBs, so I don't know if I've got everything here, but we're gonna take a look. So remember I was talking about the data sources. So this is saying Java Postgres. So oops. So what I think I'm understanding here is that you, inside of JBoss, you have set up this Postgres data store as a JNDI JTA data source. You said, hey, here's my persistence class, right? So you've got Postgres set up already. So what is happening? You said, hey, do the thing, update, show SQL. So what you are expecting is that when you load this and you hit /hello servlet, that it's got the data source. It gets initialized with this config. And if you just hit hello servlet, you're doing a get. You want to see it create this Hibernate session and spit this stuff out, right? That's what you're expecting. And what you're seeing something in the logs. How do you know what the state is? So here's the first thing that I want to do. So because I saw this Hibernate config, and I saw this, this says Hibernate HBM to DDL. So what this is saying is it's going to go ahead and upgrade this database with this entity. Can you look at your Postgres database, and do you see a table called person that has two columns, one with an ID and one with a name? That's the first thing. Like, did our database get set up? Now, where's Hibernate config.xml? I'm referencing Hibernate config.xml, and I don't see it. Did you get one of these? I expect this Hibernate config.xml to be in source main resources. Does it get generated maybe? So I did my build, and now I just want to look. So what I saw here was look for hibernate config.xml. I expect it to be in here, and I don't see that. So I think this is the first thing I'm missing, is the hibernate config.xml. IntelliJ integrates with JBoss directly. The errors appear in the run section. It's going to sound strange. I know we just met, but you just want to come on and we can walk through your code. Because here's what we can do. I can do this. I can hide all this stuff, and I can do this. And I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going to do this. I am going to invite you to come on, and we'll all learn together. So I'm sending you an invite link. This time it's over in Discord. And you come on. You don't have to go on camera, but we can look through, and we can look with your setup, and we can dig in. Okay, so this right here, this point, it doesn't make sense to be there since JBoss handles this connection, right? So that could be in the JBoss library. It could be in the JBoss class path. So you're in good shape. So I'm going to remove this, and we'll hang out. We'll see if you can get set up. So this platform that I use, I'm glad that you're interested. That's the platform I use. All it takes is a browser. So, and one of the reasons I do it this way is so I can do things like this. I want you to come on, and let's see what we're doing. So I'm going to add you to the stage. You don't have to put on your camera. Actually, at the bottom, why don't you just hit present? But I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn off my music somewhere. Let's turn this off. And what I will do is I'm going to try to now add this to the screen. I'm going to switch. I'm going to hide down here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this screen. I'm going to make it big so I can see it, so I can see your screen. I think I can do that, right? So that should be your screen that I'm looking at. And actually, let me do this. Am I going to be in there twice? Maybe I don't want to do that. Hold on one sec. Let me just get organized here, because I want to be able to see your screen nice and proper. And I also want to be able to see the chat. No, I can't hear you. I haven't put you on stage yet. I will do that. There you go. And now, maybe if you speak, I might be able to hear you.
Hi.
There it is. So now I believe everybody can hear. And then we can, I'm just trying to make it so I can see your code.
Okay.
So just bear with me just a sec. I'm trying to make it big. And I want to be able to see it. And it's not being easy. Oh, so it's a bit loud and there's an echo. So hold on one sec. I'm going to go to my audio. I'm going to switch to my mic. Wait, but I need you to come through. Let me think about how to fix that. Stream here. If I do this, we're gonna get it. We'll get it figured out.
Take your time.
this mute, and let's make sure this one's muted. All right, so now say a couple words, introduce yourself, and let's see if we have the echo, and we'll see if we can fix this, the volume and the echo.
Yeah, I can no longer hear myself, which is kind of weirding me out.
I can't hear you.
Oh.
No, I can't hear you. Hold on. Let's see. Audio. I did stream. The echo is fixed, but now I can't hear you. Why is that? What did I do? Thinking I have the mic. I have you coming in on chat. I have the chat is good. But I'm not hearing you because I muted. Oh, I'll bet it's this. Can we do that? Can you say something again? Yeah, audio is the biggest problem that I've been having.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Now, is the echo still there?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
So the echo is still there. Pretty common issue. Yeah, audio is hard. All right, give me one more sec. Let's see if I can think about this.
Okay. I think you can do separate audio channels.
Yeah, I've got this little device, and I have you coming in. Oh, you know what? I don't have to do. I could hold on. I think I got it. I don't have to do stream because you're a guest. I don't have to do this. I can do it like this. Now, can I still hear you? Are you there?
Yes.
Fantastic. And I bet that the echo is gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Fantastic. All right, now we're good. So thanks for that. I'm going to make a little note to myself about the echo. When we have guests, don't use the stream as mic. Switch to the mic channel. Fantastic. Okay, so we got that over. Everybody, thank you so much for being patient and all of the feedback that helps. I really appreciate it. So now, here we are. Now I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. And I want to be able to see what's happening.
Okay, so this is my, JBoss.
Okay.
Where is it? Data sources. Here's the driver. And this is the data source, and this is the JNDI.
Yep.
Right. So.
And that's what was in your config.
Yep. There's persistence, and I forgot to wrap it in a string.
So, fun fact, like, I don't know that you have to do that.
Oh, no, I don't.
With XML? Yeah. But, like, one of the fun things that just in my day-to-day is, like, a lot of times things just, like, get fixed when I show up. So, it's fun. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm here. All right. Oh, it's fixed. Okay, cool. I'm glad I could help. So, I won't be surprised if something like that happens.
Yeah. So, I actually manually created this person table. I can just delete it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to delete it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so I just run it. I'll just give you a rundown of like my configuration. So this is the same Git repo. I just removed the bit that points to.
Oh, hold on one sec. I have something ringing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my wife. Hold on one sec. All right.
So this is, you know how you configure JBoss
Mm-hmm.
in IntelliJ, just add it. And it's, you know, it's supposed to just launch it from the jar,
Yep.
the configured jar, right? So I just run it. And the WAR file like builds normally.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
when I
All
do
right.
this,
Yep. Let's go to the top of that, and then let's see. Could not locate config.xml. That resource. Exactly like I said. Like, hey, I don't see that config.xml. CFG.xml, I believe. It's in your Hello Servlet class, the right name.
one second. This is hard.
That's
Where's the
okay.
delete?
Yeah, there you go. The thing is, it's a lot. It's always a little bit harder to do when there's others watching. But I also believe, like, you've had somebody like come to your desk and be like, "Hey, can you show me how to do this?" And it's like, "I
Yeah,
know how to do this, but now that you're right here, I can't." So yeah, I get it. But
always
also,
happens.
it makes by putting myself in that position, I think it makes me better. All right, I feel like I'm learning better. Um, oh, so my voice, you're coming through real good, but my voice is not coming. So I'm gonna bump it up just a bit. So I need to speak into the microphone. And I know that's a
Hello?
problem. I start to mumble. So, Pink Emma, thank you so much. Like that, the feedback means a lot. Just trying to make it better. Thank you. All right. So, what we, oh, one more thing. The hibernate.cfg.xml, it should be above the meta-inf. It should be right in resources. Yep. So let's rerun it and see what it says. And I'm gonna grab a bite of apple pie, which is probably like some rule that you're not supposed to do when you're streaming, but I've been able to smell this apple pie the whole time. Okay, so now it's getting to the file, but now I just can't parse it. So there is some, either we need the Hibernate config or we don't. Can you point me to where we got this template?
So here,
So it's
Jakarta,
Java, Maven, do the thing. Okay. Yep.
and here's the app server, Maven, JDK 17.
Yep.
I think it's the supported version for
Yep.
now.
Hold on one sec. My wife's calling again.
That's not mine.
All right. All right. So we clicked next. We did full profile.
Yep.
And that's what we got. Okay. Let's go to the left to the project, and let's see what files we got.
So the conf.xml wasn't actually there.
Wait, open up the hello servlet. So the hello servlet is not asking for the Hibernate config.
Yes.
So where did we get that before?
ChatGPT.
Okay. So let's run this.
It'll run like no problems.
Okay. So now what you're trying to do is, hey, I want to add persistence.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
want to add that database. So you went to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, hey, here's an example of what you might like. All right,
Yes.
So this is going to run. Cool. Fantastic. Good.
Oh, and I have to fix something as well. Because for some reason, JBoss doesn't actually use the updated API names. It still uses like the old JavaX names. So
Wait,
I
where?
actually have
What?
to add, like in the APIs, like you see this page. No, not this one. 404 not found.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually because like the API names, like here in the project in IntelliJ, it uses Jakarta, but
Mm-hmm.
on JBoss it uses the old names.
Oh, wait. Wait. So hold on. Open up your Palm, because you
Yep.
said Java 17. Wait, so look at your Palm file. You have your compiler set as 11. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Again, and this is just from where I'm sitting and what I do. I want you to change both of those to 17.
Okay.
And then I want you to change that JavaX to back to Jakarta.
Oh,
And let's try that again.
wow. I did not see that.
So
Okay.
you wouldn't know, right? That's one of those things. When we went from 11 to 17, that's one of the things that changed was the JavaX package name had to go away and Jakarta got replaced. But what they did, they made it really nice. So you literally just change the name and everything else stays the same.
Yeah, like the API pass.
Yep. They just had to change the
Okay.
name for reasons. that
There's
only Oracle
already a
knows.
deployment. Alright, I'll just go to my app server and remove it. Where is it?
Remove that. I got to go flip one switch and I'll be right back. All right. Is it working?
Yes.
Fantastic. So we're on the latest version of Java. We're in Java 17. Our middleware supports Java 17. Our app is running. And now we want to add persistence.
Yeah, but it's still it has the same issue. Not found. Wait, let me do clean first. Maven clean. I'll do. Do I do package?
Do clean first and then package. Package does not automatically do a clean.
Okay.
So you notice when I was doing it, when I was doing my demo, I did Maven clean package as 2
Oh, okay.
commands.
That's still not working.
All right, let's see. Let's see what the logs say. Is it still that they're looking for Javox?
I think. Wait.
No class def found error.
It wasn't giving me this error before, I
Yeah,
think.
this is it's looking for a class and it's not finding it. But it's not Javox. So we're on to something new here. Let's look
Okay.
at those errors again. They'll probably tell us what's going on.
I didn't notice these before. I just thought the app was running.
All right, so things look good. XIO implementation. These are acceptable. All right, let's go all the way up to the top. Is there like any errors up top? Those are info. Okay, it's running. And look at, you can see there, right there, scroll up. Keep going up. You can see where you're using Temurin, you're using Java 17. So that's why we know that your Jakarta stuff is there. So let's keep going down and let's look for a log that's an error. Let's see if we can find our first error log. So you're using 17. So we see some warning here. Is that an error, the red? Or no, that was out on your error.
I'll make this a lot easier.
All right. There's a typo in my YouTube description. Let me peek here. I always introduce ChatGPT as my good buddy and coworker. Yeah. There's a typo in my YouTube description. I will see if I can figure that out. And these are some of the issues I've had with a lot of these frameworks as well. I'm used to code being very specific about the error with all these layers of indirection and configuration. It's a lot less clear. This has definitely improved with the newer versions of both Java and Spring. Like the abstraction stuff, we understand, you know, the long class names and paths and stuff and all the layers. We've learned better how to layer our applications and also how to document and provide meaningful errors. So happy to help kind of show some of those things as well. Failed to define the class com example hello Deshaun hello servlet in this module from service module loader. Failed to link this from service module loader. No class.
Where is that? The other one?
Nope, you're in that. This error, this stack is what I'm reading. No class def found error. Failed to link com example hello Deshaun hello servlet from service module loader. Jakarta servlet HTTP servlet. So I believe that there is a dependency that provides that. So the one that you have highlighted, Jakarta servlet HTTP servlet. Go to step out, go to your IntelliJ, and you should be, oh wait, go back up. So it's supposed to be being imported, but you have Jakarta EE API, so it should be in there, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's where it should be. Why is it not finding it? Do me a favor, click on the Jakarta servlet HTTP line 4. highlight that, and then there's like a, I don't know, it's like Command B, go to declaration. Go to, there we go. So it's there. Let's go in there, and it's looking for the what was the error? It's looking for HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet.
HTTP
not
servlet. Yeah.
request. It's looking for HTTP servlet. See if it's in there. HTTP servlet. It's right there. So why is it not mapping that? Why isn't it linking? Let's look in your. Wait, what would it be here? Let's look in your target directory. So when it's building this is something that should be provided. Look at your pom.xml. Oh, it says.
It's there.
So it says provided on line 25. So that means I'm not going to put it into your target directory and into the classes.
Do I just remove this line?
Nope. This is saying it should be in your JBoss.
App server, yeah.
Yep, but your app server doesn't have it. So how do we go and look inside of our app server to find what version we're running? Did we pull it down, or did we mess up a directory or something? So if you click on your, yeah, that works. It'd be in, I'm not sure. Yep, there you go. Not Javox, Jakarta.
It's not there.
So here's our problem. So your JBoss EAP 7.4
Doesn't have the newer APIs.
it doesn't support Java 17 yet. Let's take a look. JBoss EAP 7.4. I'm just Googling to see if we can do this as Java 17 or if we need to switch to,
Yeah, downgrade.
yeah, which would be fine. Wildfly. I'm searching to see. Preview release 8.0 beta. So it's been out for a long time. Where does it say which Java version? Maybe I need to look on someplace other than Wikipedia. Jakarta EE can be cloud native too. I just wanted to find out which Java it supports. And here's the thing. I don't always have all the answers, but I've got friends and I've got Slack.
Google.
Yeah, I literally have, I have a friend that lives here in Kansas City with me who is an expert in all things Red Hat and JBoss that I can literally just like pick up the phone and call.
Nice.
So this is one of the nice things, but I think that we found our problem is that our middleware version
it's not supporting the newer APIs.
So we could rebuild that app.
Yeah, I already created a new one.
Oh,
One
perfect.
second. Oh, there we go.
To switch between JVMs, I use SDK Man. So a little shout out to SDK.
SDK man.
Yeah. We can look at that later, but I don't see how that is a warn and not an error. Yeah. But everyone, this is awesome. I have to go pick up my daughter from cheerleading. So I'm happy to jump back in when I come back. What should I do? Should I just leave the stream on, let you continue to work? Maybe Pink Emma can help out. You have the Discord channel to chat. You have this to chat. Should I just leave it on? Or should I stop it and then come back? Because when I come back, I'm willing to just pick up where we left off, and maybe you could, show me all your progress. But I have to go pick up my daughter.
Okay, sure.
So I'm going to ask, should I just leave the stream on? You comfortable streaming? Or do you want me to shut it off and I'll jump on? It'll be about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Look into it.
All right. So I'm gonna stop it. Thank you all so much. We have the Discord. We'll do some stuff. You're gonna try to reswizzle, but as soon as I get back, I will send you an invite to come and join me again, and we'll pick up right where we left off. And I hope that maybe you'll have it figured out and you'll be able to show me how it works.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks
This is
a
great.
lot, man.
Like this, like I'm here for you. Like this is
Thank
what
you.
we do. I wish I had an opportunity like this, a Twitch where I could go out and like, hey, could you help me out with this? I wish I had that. So that's why I love doing it.
Yeah,
So
it's
thank
a
you
lot of
again
fun.
so much, and I will ping you as soon as I get back. Thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
thanks a lot, man.
Yep, bye.